We know that almost all official news will be edited and always take into account government official secrets, and they are classified and they are top secrets. Consider projects like Operation Paperclip. We have to ask, do they tell the true story or our politics, or they are just a decoy? Welcome to Hamiti Iburu Ethics. Today we want to discuss strange politics and hands of fate. This very interesting analysis of events that have happened amongst humanity. We say, may you rise to the stars in this life and live a happy life forever. One more twist. Let us add fate and see what happens to our topic. The question that we want to deal with is, who spared Adolf Hitler? Strange ways of the universe indeed. Find the answers for us if you can. Who saved Adolf Hitler? During World War I, Adolf Hitler was in a foxhole with other soldiers. He had a dream and his mouth was filling with dirt and he started choking. He woke up frightened, walked out of the foxhole to get some fresh air, and moments later a bomb hit the foxhole and they killed everyone who was inside it. Because of his dream, Hitler escaped certain death. If only he would have stayed asleep for a few minutes. But our question is, who saved him? Politics or fate? Let's continue. One time a priest saved a young boy from drowning. In January 1894, a 4-year-old boy fell into the cold waters of the Inn River, Passau, Germany. The priest Johann Kugenberger saw the whole scene and did not hesitate to dive, saving the kid. That kid was Adolf Hitler. Who saved him? We know it's the priest. But how come the priest was just there at the right time to save him, or wrong time to save him? Strange politics or hands of fate. Was it fate that saved him from death? Another incident here. During World War I, in a battle at Menin Crossroads in 1914, a top British soldier pointed a gun at a German soldier, but decided to spare him. That soldier was Adolf Hitler. Hitler himself had to say that this man came near to killing me, and I thought I should never see German again. Hitler is alleged to have said, and then added, "Providence saved me from such devilish, accurate fire as those English boys." Was it providence or a politics, fate or a misfortune? Let us think about this and answer these questions. Hitler would survive more assassination attempts. In 1938, a Maurice Bavaud, a student from Switzerland, made a plot to kill him, bought a gun, packed it, went to Germany. He had actually identified that Hitler was the incarnation of the devil. And when he arrived there, he could not be able to meet Hitler and kill him. So he decided to join the crowd. And when he was with the crowd and Hitler was walking in the parade down the streets of Munich, his pistol hidden in his pocket. And when he was just about to shoot Hitler, the whole crowd around him raised their hands to salute him. And he decided that he would kill a lot of other people and miss Hitler, so he decided not to kill him. Unfortunately, he was caught and guillotined. Was it fate or politics? Another one. A bomb missed Hitler. Essler successfully installed a bomb. He set the timer so that it could hit right when Hitler was making his speech. Elsa had this bomb timed to perfection. But what happened there was that the Führer made his speech fast and finished earlier before explosion. Hitler moved the start time of his speech to 8 p.m. so he could be back in Berlin as soon as possible. The Führer finished his remarks by 9:07, and by 9:12 he had left the building. Only 8 minutes later, Essler's bomb went off, leveling the pillar and sending a section of the roof crashing down on the speaker's podium. 8 people were killed and dozens more injured, but Hitler was not amongst them. One more. On March 13, 1943, General Henning von Stresekow and his ADC Fabian von Schraben placed a bomb on Hitler's plane after Hitler had visited them in Russia, where they were fighting. And it was disguised and wrapped in a control liquor. They were intended as a gift for General Helmut Stief at Hitler's headquarters. But they had the news that Hitler's plane had arrived safely. And the plotters knew that something had happened. Upon retrieving their bomb, they found that the detonator had become defective because of high altitude cold air in the plane. So, hands of fate or politics. From September 1938 to July 1944, there were 17 major assassination attempts plotted against the German Führer. They all failed. Was it politics, fate, providence, as Hitler said, or there is an explanation? Oh, these are the people that tried and failed, missed him by inches, missed him by minutes, by seconds. Was it fate? Just one more before we conclude. This one is much more interesting. Shortly after the D-Day, it was in 1944, shortly after the D-Day invasions in the summer of 1944, a clique of disgruntled German officers launched a campaign to assassinate Adolf Hitler at his Wolfslee command post in Prussia. At the center of the plot was Klaus von Stauffenberg, a dashing colonel who had lost one eye and one hand during combat in North Africa. He and his co-conspirators, who included Tresco, Friedrich Obrich, and Ludwig Beck, planned to kill the Führer with a hidden bomb. On July 20, 1944, after he and several other Nazi officials were called to a conference with Hitler at the Lofsee, he arrived carrying his briefcase stuffed with plastic explosive connected to an acid fuse. After placing his case as close to Hitler as possible, Stauffenberg left the room under the pretense of making a phone call. His bomb detonated only minutes later, blowing a part of the wooden table and reducing much of the conference room to charred rubble. Is the image there. Now, 4 men died, but Hitler escaped with non-threatening injuries. An officer had felt the bag fall on his foot and moved Stauffenberg's briefcase behind a thick table leg seconds before the blast. Fate, politics, or just pure lucky? Did Adolf Hitler die in the bunker? That's another question that is very serious now after giving all these over 20 some survivors. The official news tells us that Hitler died in the bunker and shot himself after taking cyanide pills. Here is the question. He took cyanide tablet, and then to make sure that he would be dead, he shot himself in the head. But there was an official operation called Operation Paperclip. Numerous theories have been presented that Hitler didn't actually die at the age of 56 after tests on his skull, on the skull fragments, and the teeth that were presented and believed to be his revealed that they all came from a woman. There are many holes in the stories here. Operation Paperclip, you can research about it. You can read this book, The History of the Secret Program to Bring Nazi Scientists to America During and After World War II, During and After World War II by Charles Rivers, editors. Operation Paperclip. You can get this book from Amazon and study and read it and observe whatever happened. Look at these other facts. The Nazis didn't lose. They moved to America. Werner von Braun, he was an ex-Nazi and the NASA associate administrator. Arthur Rudolph, he was Nazi and a NASA rocket scientist. Hermann Oberth, Nazi, NASA rocket scientist. So from 1945 to 1955, Operation Paperclip granted nearly 1,000 German scientists American citizenship. Many had been long-time members of the Nazi Party and the Gestapo and had conducted experiments on human beings and the concentration camps and committed other war crimes. The scientist ended up in the United States military-industrial complex, worked with the CIA, NASA, and many more other organizations. One of the Nazi experiments that continued in America was mind control, known as the CIA's Project MK Ultra. So, there is the thing there. Now, we know and we have heard from others that Hitler died in Argentina, where he went to live. There is a report, Argentina, 128-year-old man claims he is Adolf Hitler. Look at that. An elderly man from Salta in Argentina claims that he is the infamous dictator, a German dictator Adolf Hitler, and that he spent the last 70 years in hiding. In an interview with the ultra-conservative newspaper El Patriota, the naturalized German immigrant explains that he arrived in the country in 1945 with a passport identifying him as Hermann Gutenberg. He claims that his passport was fake and produced by the Gestapo near the end of the war, and that he is actually the former Nazi leader Adolf Hitler. Is it possible he is telling the truth? What are the consequences if indeed he is the Führer? It's very, very interesting. We conclude by stating that almost all the official news and the reports are edited and always take into account government agenda and propaganda that runs under the title government official secrets or confidential secrets. You release them, you go into prison and in jail, or you will be liquidated. Will we ever know the truth? Can we leave everything to politicians or a Fed? No, we can't leave everything or anything to anybody other than ourselves. And what can you do? What can we do? The only thing that you can do is to clarify your identity, resolve the identity crisis, know who you are. In the social jungle of human existence, there is no feeling of being alive without a sense of identity. That's what sociologist says. See, that's what we all need. We have to deepen and stabilize our own reality by activating that identity. It's one thing to know your identity, but to activate your identity daily, you have to deepen it. And we offer Bantu classes to resolve this mystery. And you can send us an email on join@maarifado.com so that we can engage in this program together and network and connect and become one unit again, so that we can deepen our identity and override these realities that are created by government official news. Let's talk. We are the best on the earth. This is Preacher Rabbi Elem Dumisulu, and we say subscribe to our channel, Hamiti Iburu Ethics, and this is our email shown here. And we want to end by saying the sparks between us will never perish as long as our identity is activated. Thank you. Have a good time.